Hi everyone! I am so excited to be able to share my story today with the most blessed, hardworking, brave people in this continent. And I just want you to know that on this occasion, where we are celebrating the International Women's Day, I do highly cherish you. And many thanks to the leadership of Women in Business Kenya for according me this opportunity, and as well according me a chance to bridge the gap between Women in Business Network Kenya and Europe as the Europe Women in Business representative. And my vision is so big. My vision is to empower every woman by exposing them to the African and diaspora market opportunities, to foster business opportunities for sustainable income generation. Now, who am I? My names are Dr. Beatrice Lukose. I come from Kenya, but I'm currently residing in Netherlands. In most occasions, they call me the Queen of Communication. And I have the privilege of holding a doctorate in business administration, focusing a lot on emotional intelligence, a subject that I use to teach people in all areas of life and business. I have been honored to have my work recently featured in Oprah Magazine, Black Love, The Shade Room, Viola Davis, E-News, BET International. And with that, I want you to know that when it comes to life issues, when it comes to business, it's actually 20% tactical and 80% the mindset. It's all about being emotionally sharp. Well, I am the co-founder and the CEO of Mindflix Media Africa, a data hub for entrepreneurs and investors in Africa and the rest of the world. And I'm very happy today to say that as the Europe coordinator of Women in Business, this platform is open for women in business for registration for free. Here you will be able to connect, request for funding, collaborate with international traders looking beyond the borders. I am the CEO of Wealth First Africa with a great passion for creating annual events that bring together great minds from Africa and friends of Africa. We already had a great event last year and we're privileged to have Her Excellency Mary Modoni as one of the key speakers. I also happen to be one of the well-sought and acclaimed keynote speakers, having successfully acquired membership in international speaking clubs like Professional Speakers Association Netherlands, where I'm actually currently part of the board of directors. I'm also honored to be part of the Global Speakers Association and Booking World Speakers. So, humbly coming from the slopes of Mount Kenya, now living in the Netherlands, I have been as well privileged to work for 15 years with the United Nations as a diplomat doing humanitarian work. In 2018, I was actually honored with the Exceptional Woman of Excellence Award at the Economic Women Forum here in Europe. And as an international entrepreneur myself, I founded the first online business And not in Kenya. We had to relocate to Uganda for reasons better known for business. So we had to relocate to Uganda, and there we started our first company, JBIM, and that was in 1998, which successfully was able to complete business automation projects for governments in Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, Botswana, Jamaica, Zimbabwe, and guess what? After working with all those governments, the United Nations recognized us. And so from the humble beginnings, from Uganda, we were able to travel in most of the continent, most of the countries in the continent. And here we are, having been recognized by the United Nations, who opened the door for us to be in Europe today. I'm also the co-founder of iMotivate Solutions that specializes specifically on building online e-commerce platforms and mobile apps. I have been really humbled to manage a team that was able to develop many global e-commerce platforms for marketing goods and selling and marketing goods at the international level. Plus, an e-commerce platform, for example, that brings together students to showcase their talent, to showcase what they can do. We were also honored to be able to develop a platform for architecture and e-designs, a huge platform that might be becoming the booking.com of Africa, which we are working on right now for local tourism, and many, many others. We were actually the first people to build an award-winning mobile real estate app in Africa then. On top of that, I have really been humbled to co-author 3 books on relationships, because I believe where there is life, there has to be love. So we have co-authored 3 books with my husband, and one of them is Tuning Your Relationship to Last a Lifetime, How to Be a Nurturing Husband, and What She Needs to Blossom. And having come from a very humble beginning, I have always been a warrior. I have always been a fighter. And with this, I was the first girl from my fairy village from central Kenya, the small village in Nyeri, to climb the highest mountain, and that is Kenya, all the way to the peak, all the way to the Lenana Peak. And that's about 16,000 feet. And so with all these stories of success, I want you to know that I was born and raised in a very small village in central Kenya in Nyeri, as I mentioned. But I also know firsthand what it takes to cook with 3 stones. I have cooked with those 3 stones. I have fetched firewood. I have fetched water from a stream in my village and bringing that water in the morning so that we can use it to make tea. I know what it means to milk cows. I have milked cows. I have cut napier grass. I have harvested coffee. I have plucked tea. We pluck tea, we don't harvest tea, but we harvest coffee. So I know what it means to cultivate with a djembe and a panga. I know what it means to walk barefooted to school. I know what it means to rise from the ashes and to work so hard with the right mindset to climb to the top. And today's topic is so appropriate. It's all about achieving an equal future in COVID-19 world. Could this be the ashes we have to rise from? How can we achieve an equal future in COVID-19 world? A very, very profound topic today. I remember hearing about COVID-19 for the first time in February 2020. I was seated on my couch in the living room when our daughter, who had just graduated with a first class and ready to start her career in interior architecture, mentioned that there is this strange disease that has hit China. And at that time, it just sounded like something so distanced. And so I took no key interest in it. It just sounded like many other issues that affect China. But on February 17th, the first case was reported in the Netherlands. And hoping that Africa would be safe, in March 2020, the first case was reported in Kenya. And what this did to me as a leader was to create a sense of concern and fear. Questioning myself, what effect would it have on my loved ones, on my friends, my business, and life in general? And as it turned out, initially, it did affect our operations and life adversely, to say the least. On top of the list was the mental well-being. The sudden shift in school and work culture had an overall toll on our well-being. The hopes of our daughter with her first class in interior architecture, working with one of the biggest firms. Her dreams to work with this biggest firm were shattered. She had gone through all the interviews and passed, and only waiting for a date to start. So excited, but all of a sudden, her dreams were shattered when they closed the employment doors. Our son lost his job too. We had to actually close doors and start working from home, minimizing the chances of our physical meetups. And so life completely changed. From staying at home, wearing masks in public places, shopping online, the lockdown, quarantine, borders closing, staying 1.5 meters away from people in order to protect myself and the rest of the community. For sure, this affected us. It heightened the level of stress and anxiety at the time. That was our well-being affected. What about managing to work remotely? The children and the office operations had to be carried out remotely from home. The transition to remote working affected operations negatively, as we had to incur costs to cater for the homeschooling and working. We had to create space for each one of the family members to work and school at home. What about the level of uncertainty? Since the beginning of the pandemic, just 2 months down the line, I remember in April, I had already lost about 10 people that I knew very well. And one of them was my high school friend, a dear friend from high school, who was also the maid of honor for my wedding. At the same time, I lost one of a highly treasured gardener who had worked with us in my small village for over 40 years. We knew him almost like our father. We lost him at that time. And so this actually created the highest level of uncertainty you could ever imagine. Waking up each day not knowing who would be next. the doubting feeling of not knowing what the future held or what measures even to take to sustain home and organizational operations was a huge one. But the question is, how did we then mitigate against the above problems? How do we prepare ourselves for 2021 and beyond? There is evidence that there is gonna be a serious economic crisis. They are calling it global economic crisis. It's gonna be one of the biggest financial crises the world has ever faced. We are all familiar with the huge health crisis that has affected millions or even billions of people across the world. But to add on top of the pandemic, is this provoking an uncommon downturn in the economic arena? The statistics actually have shown that entrepreneurs, especially those in COVID-impacted sectors, have lost about 50% to 80% of their turnover, as well as major portions of their market value. So the question is, in the face of this global COVID-19 pandemic, what are we doing as smart leaders? Are we ready to face the new reality? Will the world be the same again? Chances are that it will be a new normal, not what we get used to. So as leaders, how do we prepare ourselves? What are you doing to prepare yourself during this phase where we're even seeing a potential economic downturn ahead? And I'm going to give you a few tips that myself had to take into consideration. Number one, it all starts with a new mindset. A new mindset. We have to overcome our fears and stop procrastinating. This is a topic that is so close to my heart that I've even written a program. I have a learning platform where you can learn how to overcome your fears and procrastination. If this is something you'd be open to, if you need help in this area, I am more than happy to help. Because smart leaders know how to embrace the right momentum to help them through thin and thick to navigate through the business challenges without fear and procrastination. Every crisis has an end point. But should you wait until the end of the crisis for you to take immediate actions towards your company growth, or even towards your own personal growth, or even more than that, starting your own business? A downturn is known to be one of the best opportunities to improve your fundamentals. And so the question is, how can you overcome your fears? I'll tell you one answer. Take action. Take action towards achieving those goals that you want to achieve. Start taking actions. Stop fearing. Stop procrastinating. Today is the best time to do it. A wise man once said, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is actually today. The best cure for fear today is taking action. So that is number one, the mindset. Number two, we have to think of a new lifestyle. had to do this personally. A new lifestyle, eating healthy food, doing exercises, performing activities together as a family, like playing games, watching movies, doing home chores, taking time just to listen to one another. We actually had to come up with a program where every Saturday evening is time just for us to listen to one another. And every Friday evening, we call it the pajama night. Just for us to put on our pajamas, forget about everything, and just watch a movie. We had to be creative at this time. We also decided as a family to do something quite interesting, and that is to periodically do acts of kindness. So my husband, for example, once in a while, he combs, brushes out my afro. And so at one point, when we realized how the world is suffering, people all of a sudden have to learn to live with one another. So we decided to start taking videos and sharing them. But little did we know that the world needed that so much that our videos went really viral, being featured in some of the top media houses, including Oprah Magazine and Black Love and many others. Number 3, after changing your lifestyle, start thinking of the virtual network. And I think this one speaks for itself. Having frequent virtual meetings with your friends, with your colleagues, joining new networks to enhance your net worth. The world has evolved technologically, creating a new culture, working culture, networking culture, new ways of communicating, new ways of shopping, new ways of learning, while at the same time reducing physical human interaction. Today I'm here, really honored to be able to inspire you all the way from the Netherlands, from the comfort of my home. The world has changed, have you? What about collaborations? Time has come for unity. And remember, there is power in unity. I can confidently tell you that we have made the greatest collaborations during this pandemic period, more than any other time in history. One of our companies, iMotivate Solutions, is currently working on collaborations with businesses like Women in Business, like Optivia, tour and guide companies, businesses that need sustainable and secure online presence. They need an e-commerce platform. Maybe they need a field operation management solution that is best suited for Africa and those in the diaspora. And we have taken it as a strategic decision to be able to do this cost effectively. We are still open for more partnerships. So if you are there, do not struggle anymore. We are here to help you with a very reliable online platform. So we are here to partner with anyone. Normally they say you hire your weakness. Your solution could just be around the corner. It is time to collaborate. If you want to go fast, then go alone. But if you really want to go far, then you need the company of others. During this pandemic, we were also able to come up with Mindflix Media Africa, the one I mentioned. It's one of the products of iMotivate Solutions. And this platform, and I want to encourage all of you to join, It brings together great minds, entrepreneurs, investors from Africa and the diaspora, enabling them to connect, get inspired. We have a TV there where you come and you watch videos generally focusing on Africa and the great mindsets from Africa. You get inspired. And recently, we have just come up with an information page where you can get reports on every sector in every country in Africa. So if you want to know which country has most gold, you'll be able to see. What about things like mining? What about transport? What about tourism? This is critical information that we need today to be able to make wise decisions on where to invest and where to do trade and who to collaborate with. Just imagine being able to make intelligent decisions. That is why Mindflix Media is there for all of us. To equip you all the way from building systems, all the way to getting information, getting inspired, getting collaborations, all in one hub. And so this decision to become innovative, to be able to network and collaborate virtually has literally transformed all my businesses. Some of the people I'm working with, I have never met them. But we have become so close. So it's time to innovate. It's time to change our plans. It's time to change our operations. It's during this time that I have been able to reach millions. We're talking of some of our videos having reactions from about 6 million people, being featured on Oprah Magazine, as I said, Viola Davis, BET International. Black love, reaching millions from the comfort of our home. How would I have even managed physically? So to conclude, it reached a point as a woman and as a leader, I had to embrace the fact that rolling up my sleeves and getting stuck in the trenches would be a sign of failure. And so at the height of the pandemic, I had to portray leadership skills, and I want to invite you to do the same. Maintaining good common sense and taking initiatives in favor of making quick moves, creating totally new landscapes for our businesses and family, for now and in the future. And some of the leadership traits I had to inhabit quickly were communication skills, showing empathy, and being innovative. So, to just wind up, as it stands, COVID-19 is not going to disappear anytime soon. And even if it does, life will never be the same again. But I'm so optimistic that there are great opportunities for businesses and for life in general. And one key thing I want to encourage all of you to do is to scale your operations online. This is something I can say again and again and again. And that's why one of the strategic decisions that I'm so happy that women in business leadership has taken is to make sure that they are visible to the rest of the world. They're working towards that. So overall, I have had a good time with my family. I'm so grateful that they are all healthy. And it's always nice to have all of us as family members gathering around the table again with just each other to talk to. Here in Netherlands, the lockdown is still going on as I speak, with a curfew to be at home by 8 p.m. and the only exemption to be outside your house by 8 p.m. is to walk your dog. Unfortunately, I don't have a dog. But I believe that the future is great for those that are flexible enough to learn, adopt, and innovate. And with those very few words, thank you so very much for this opportunity again. And for those that would want to get in touch with me, my email address is beatrice.lukose@gmail.com. beatrice.lukose@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from all of you. Thank you.